Hello and welcome. So given a circle, center L, and tangent line, various lengths, find the specified information. So first off, we're given that A to Y is 17. We can see that on the diagram. The next, we can see that L to Y is 20. So that's going to be this entire length here is going to be 20. Okay, and that's what we're given. We're asked to find the diameter of the circle. Now remember, a diameter is any chord inside of a circle that goes from one end to the other that passes through the center, right? And then it has some cool properties where the diameter is made up as 2 times the radius, right? So if we know that's the radius, the diameter is 2 of the radii together, right? 2 times the radius. All right, so let's look at what we got to work with here. So first off, we have the 20, the 17, and we know it's a tangent line. Now, knowing that we have this tangent line here is going to make a world of difference. There are 2 properties with tangent lines. One is with just a single tangent line, and then 2 is with 2 tangent lines. We only have 1, which means we're going to be using the property that if you have a radius, so we're going to connect L to A, center to the circumference, that's a radius there. Okay, when we do that, that means property of tangent lines, just straight definition, that the radius will intersect with the tangent line at a right angle. This is very important because that forms a right triangle. And as soon as we have the right triangle, we have Pythagorean's theorem. So we have the first leg, any leg, right, of your triangle, right, leg or that leg squared plus the other leg squared equals the hypotenuse of that triangle squared. Alright, so pick one of your legs. R, sure, okay? So R squared plus our other leg, 17 squared, equals the hypotenuse, 20 squared. Alright, so then from there, just start evaluating those numbers through. So 17 squared is 289, 20 squared is 400, and then you have r squared plus 289 equals 400. Subtract that 289 to the other side. When we do, we get r squared equals 111. Not quite there yet, right? Finish by undoing the square with the square root. Now, technically, you do have the plus or minus. We're only looking for positive lengths. Lengths cannot be negative, so we only have that positive square root. R is the positive square root of 111. Now, does it simplify? Answer? No, it doesn't. That's 3 and 37. Alright, where 37 is a prime number. Right, 37 is not simplifying any further. You don't have 2 of the same thing. So 111 is as good as it gets inside of that square root. Okay, so now we know the radius. We know the sucker equals the square root of 111. Well, how does that help us? Well, remember, right? A diameter is 2 times the radius. We just found the radius, right? This section is 111. That section's 111. How many of the radius does it take to create a diameter? 2 of them, right? So all you do is you just take the radius and you multiply it by 2, right? Multiply by 2, multiply by 2. And when you do that, we just get 2 square roots of 111. Booyah. Done. Finished. Okay? All you have to do for that one. Okay? Now keep in mind that if we had simplified the square root, so for example, alright, if we had like 3 square roots of, I don't know, 5, and that was our radius, right? By chance, if this was true, not related to what we just did, this is just an if thing. Okay? If we wanted to find the diameter, would be 2 times the radius. So then we take 3 square roots of 5 and we multiply that by 2. We double it. Now remember, that's both outside numbers. They would multiply together to be 6 square root of 5, and that would be your diameter. Okay, so don't let the numbers kind of freak you out a little bit. All you do is just find the radius, multiply by 2, diameter, bam, done. Alrighty, thanks for watching.